The atmosphere was dense, vibrating with expectation. His gaze lingered, unwavering and piercing. He had exercised restraint for long enough, but that time had come to an end. I pivoted, locking gazes with him. He was fully engaged now. I raised my fingers, a subtle beckoning. His breath hitched, tension coursed through him, and then he rose to his feet. Before we dive in, I'd appreciate it if you could take a moment to like this video and subscribe. It costs nothing, requires just a moment, and offers more assistance than you realize. Additionally, you'll always be in the loop for the next narrative. Let's dive in. His hands settled on my waist, drawing me near as our bodies swayed in unison. With each profound inhalation and every delicate shift, a vibrant warmth enveloped my skin, charged with an enduring energy. "Please, don't stop," I whispered, my voice scarcely a breath. The tension between us intensified, hanging in the air until my body finally surrendered, melting against his. He exhaled gently, drawing me nearer as we embraced the serene warmth of the moment. For a time, we simply rested there, the heat shared between us remaining palpable. His fingers moved in gentle circles along my back, his chest rising and falling in a rhythmic cadence. Yet, there was an unusual quality to the silence. I tilted my head just a bit, observing him closely. "You're rather silent." He released a gentle laugh, lost in thought. I smiled slyly, allowing my fingers to lightly touch his skin. "What is it about?" His moment of doubt was subtle, yet I perceived it. "That was quite impressive." I chuckled gently, nestling against him. Indeed, it was. My fingers wandered aimlessly, creating delicate designs across his skin. "Have you ever considered how to enhance it further?" His breath caught for a moment. "Improved." I leaned on one elbow, observing him intently. Adventure has always been in our nature. What if we pushed the boundaries even more? His body tightened, if only for a fleeting moment. It was understated, yet I perceived it. That just intensified my curiosity. "Come on," I urged, tilting my head. "I understand you've considered it." Our eyes locked, a spark dancing in the depths of his gaze. A moment of stillness. After a prolonged breath, he finally began to speak. "There is something," he confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. I raised an eyebrow, a sense of excitement twisting in my gut. "Share with me." He swept his fingers through his hair. "I wish for you to encounter something unique." I blinked. "Distinct?" His lips parted, as though he were selecting his words with great deliberation. "Ultimately, yes, but not another individual. A lady." The phrases lingered in the space between us, dense and palpable. I gulped, my heart racing. The sensation swelling within me felt uncertain. Was it merely anxiety, or something much more perilous lurking beneath the surface? I parted my lips, yet silence lingered, as uncertainty clouded my emotions. The thought lingered in my mind, refusing to fade away. It wrapped around my thoughts, infiltrating my consciousness at the most unexpected moments. Reclining in bed, navigating my morning rituals, despite my attempts to concentrate on other matters. His words ignited a feeling within me that I couldn't overlook. Initially, it seemed utterly ridiculous. This was an idea I had never entertained before. The thought of being with another woman, particularly under his gaze, ought to have been simple to disregard. However, it was not the case. As I pondered further, it began to feel increasingly familiar. A sense of wonder emerged, subtle yet unwavering. The notion itself had a way of sticking around. It was the way he gazed at me, the potential shift it could bring to our relationship. Could it? The question hung in the air longer than I cared to acknowledge. Uncertainties lingered at the periphery of my enthusiasm. What if I followed through and found it too enjoyable? What if it changed his perception of me? What if it allowed me to perceive myself in a new light? It was as if I was entering a realm of uncertainty, a place beyond my ability to foresee. And yet, beneath the ambiguity, another force began to awaken. A subtle excitement, the sort that remained with me whenever it crossed my mind. It was evident that this was his desire. And if I were truthful with myself, I was curious about the sensation of granting him his desires. Though the uncertainty lingered, it couldn't deter my resolve. I intended to follow through with it. I was uncertain about the method and the person involved, yet there was one truth I held firmly in my mind. This had transcended mere imagination. At that moment, it belonged to me as well. The days that followed slipped by in a haze. I reminded myself to keep it simple and not dwell too much on it. I've come to a conclusion. However, once I finally did, the excitement only intensified. Each look exchanged, each fleeting brush of skin intensified the thrill of the moment. I wasn't merely acquiescing to his imagination. I was seizing the reins of it. Once I had everything in place, the nerves faded away, giving way to a rush of exhilaration. The ideal individual, the opportune moment, the flawless method to unveil it. Now, all that remained was to observe his response. That morning, as we lay in bed, I turned to face him, my fingers gently gliding over his skin, creating delicate patterns. He lingered in a state of drowsiness, his breaths deep and, even, oblivious to the tempest raging within me. I leaned in, my voice gentle yet resolute. "Please ensure you arrive home by 8 this evening. There are no inquiries. Simply have faith in me." His eyes fluttered open, a relaxed grin playing at the corners of his mouth. "What's going on at 8? I locked eyes with him, maintaining the connection just long enough for intrigue to take root. "Just wait and see." His brows arched ever so slightly, yet I could sense the curiosity begin to captivate him. He felt the urge to inquire further, yet he understood me well enough to sense when I was resolute in my silence. Finally, he spoke, releasing a deep breath as he stretched. "I will remain present." Excellent. By tonight, his dream would transform into reality. The evening arrived sooner than I had anticipated. I encountered him at the entrance, my heartbeat calm. Yet, lurking just below the surface, a quiet hum stirred within me. A sense of eager expectation, a flutter of anxiety, an indescribable feeling lingering just beneath the surface. Uncertainty loomed ahead, heightening the thrill of the unknown. His brow arched subtly as I grasped his hand, presenting nothing beyond a shared, understanding smile. "Follow me," I whispered, guiding him along the corridor. The door stood slightly open, a soft glow seeping into the corridor. As we crossed the threshold, a palpable change enveloped us, the atmosphere crackling with anticipation, heavy with unspoken hopes. And then he laid eyes on her. She sat waiting, elegantly positioned on the edge of the bed, her demeanor effortless, radiating a confidence that unmistakably signaled her rightful place in that moment. Her eyes darted over him for a moment before focusing on me, an enigmatic glimmer passing through her gaze. I noticed the deliberate breath my husband drew in, observed the subtle tension that crept into his body. He wasn't merely observing, he was taking in every nuance, contemplating the significance of it all, anticipating what was on the verge of unfolding. And then she shifted. Her fingers grazed my wrist initially, a mere whisper of contact, then ventured higher, gliding up my arm with intention and a playful allure. I instinctively turned toward her, captivated, my breath hitching as her hands glided over my skin. This was unlike anything else, fresh and strange, yet utterly captivating. The initial kiss was gentle, unhurried, and curious, a cautious touch of lips, probing before evolving into something deeper. My body reacted instinctively, leaning into her touch, my hands exploring her waist, savoring the warmth beneath my fingertips. A soft breath escaped from behind me, steady and deliberate, yet unmistakable. I didn't need to look back to sense his gaze, to know he was experiencing every moment of this just as intensely as I was. We lingered, relishing the gradual unfolding. Her hands glided with intention, weaving beneath the fabric, leading me gradually into a realm more profound. Each touch ignited a wave of warmth within me, the gradual unfolding of discovery causing me to tremble. And then she stepped forward with confidence. Her lips departed from mine, following a measured, intentional route, relishing each caress. The feeling of my shirt slipping away barely registered, as fingers brushed lightly against my newly revealed skin. Each motion was deliberate, seamless, as though she was in perfect harmony with every reaction I displayed. Her lips brushed against my collarbone initially, then descended, following the contour of my torso with intentional precision. My breath caught as she navigated with deliberate grace, the feeling sending tingles through my body. A gentle, lingering caress at my hip ignited a shiver within me, my body responding instinctively. There was no hurry, just the deliberate unfolding of expectation, a gradual rise in warmth that left me breathless. And then her touch became more deliberate. A wave of warmth enveloped me, causing my breath to falter. My breath became erratic, each movement pulling me deeper, enveloped in the overwhelming sensations surrounding me. Her rhythm flowed seamlessly, a consistent tempo that layered upon itself, each intentional movement holding me captive in the experience. A faint sound emanated from the other side of the room, low and strained, cutting through the fog of my thoughts. I turned my head just a fraction, my vision softening at the periphery, revealing my husband. He remained in the chair, though just on the edge of it. His hands clutched the arms firmly, his chest rising and falling with deliberate control. His eyes were fixed on me, his face a mask of mystery, yet every detail about him, from his stance to the tightness in his body, conveyed a deep narrative. He was on the brink of falling apart. The atmosphere was dense, laden with a silent comprehension. He was no longer a mere observer. He was entangled in this as deeply as I was. Our eyes locked, my fingers extending towards him, the gesture subtle yet intentional. It was merely an invitation, a subtle recognition that his presence held equal significance to all else in this moment. His hands relaxed, his body coiled with energy, and then, at last, he rose to his feet. As he advanced, the atmosphere in the room transformed. The moment he approached, I sensed it, the heaviness of his presence, the warmth radiating from his skin. His hands settled on my waist, fingers pressing in just enough to send a subtle thrill coursing through me. As I glanced upward, I found his gaze locked onto mine, deep and intense, brimming with an unvoiced emotion. Then his lips met mine. The kiss lingered, rich with unspoken emotions, a gentle draw, a soft yielding. I surrendered to his embrace, enveloped by his warmth as his hands glided along my back. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice soft against my lips. A chill coursed through me, not merely because of his words, but due to the manner in which he delivered them. It felt as if this moment encompassed all his desires, and then she shifted. A movement on the bed, her presence palpable even before I glanced over. She observed him, observing us, a gradual, understanding smile gracing her lips. Her gaze held no hesitation, no uncertainty, only a quiet confidence as she leaned in, fingers gliding over his stomach, moving lower, until he released a sharp exhale. I remained transfixed as she pressed her lips along his skin, her fingers wandering, tantalizing. My lips lingered on his, my fingers entwined in his hair, sensing the subtle tremor that coursed through him. His breath grew deeper, more deliberate as his body responded to each subtle shift she made. His fingers gripped my back with increasing intensity as she honed in, a low sound escaping from his throat. His breath faltered against my lips. His reactions sparked an undeniable energy within me, the way his body tightened, the way his fingers pressed into my hips as if seeking something to anchor himself. It was mesmerizing to observe, to sense his response to each deliberate motion, each change in his breath, and then I flowed with her. I let my kisses wander down his jawline, gliding along his neck, savoring the warmth of his pulse against my lips. Lower still, until I found myself beside her, our movements intertwining in a quiet harmony. His head tilted back, breath hitching, immersed in the shared moment between us. Each sound he produced ignited a new surge of warmth within me, intensifying the experience and drawing me further into it. The tension emanated from him, his hands tightly clutching the sheets. However, our journey was far from over. A transition, a movement to a new place. She lay on the bed now, beneath me, her breath a warm whisper against my skin. Her hands directed me, positioning me just right, a quick breath escaping my lips as she started. My fingers gripped the sheets tightly as waves of sensation coursed through me. Gentle, tantalizing caresses, pulling me deeper, causing my head to tilt back. And then the the heaviness of his form pressing against hers, the profound breath that escaped his lips as he advanced with purpose. A soft gasp slipped from her lips, her breath catching against my skin. Each movement resonated through me, his essence unwavering, resolute. The force of it was unmistakable. His hands anchored her, each movement eliciting a response within me. The warmth of her breath, the gentle touch of her hands, the soft caress of her lips upon my skin. The experience overwhelmed me, a heady blend of feelings that quickened my heartbeat. Yet it was he who unraveled me, the intensity of his gaze upon me. His eyes met mine, deep and laden with fervor. Each motion he executed sent a thrill coursing through us both. Yet it was how he maintained his gaze, how he extended his hand toward me. His fingers glided over my skin, his lips enveloping mine. That was what dismantled me entirely. My body tightened, my breath halted, and the feeling washed over me in surges. I had company. He let out a low groan, his fingers clenching tighter, his body quaking as the moment enveloped him. His voice hung in the air, deep and gravelly, calling out to me. And then there was silence. Our foreheads touched, his breath lingering in an unsteady rhythm. A leisurely, contented breath escaping from his mouth. A soft, airy chuckle escaped my lips, my fingers remaining entwined in the fabric of the sheets. I tilted my head just enough, my lips grazing his ear. Joyful. His arms encircled me, drawing me near as he placed a soft, lingering kiss upon my shoulder. Beyond your understanding. Certain reflections remain hidden for eternity. But what if the finest ones are destined to become reality? Have you ever harbored a hidden desire that you kept to yourself? What occurred when you ultimately disclosed it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I have gone through each and every one, and I seek to understand. Before you leave, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. It costs nothing, requires just a moment, and guarantees you won't overlook the upcoming tale. Activate the notification bell to be the first to discover when a new one is released. If this resonated with you, pass it along to someone else who might appreciate it as well. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.